Alright, picture this. I'm stepping out my front door, coffee mug steaming in my hand, ready to tackle a Monday morning. And there at Issa's shiny red Mercedes-Benz, parked like a drunk Tetris block, completely sealing my driveway. I mean, this car's not just blocking me. It's practically kissing my garage door, like it's daring me to try and leave. And the kicker? It belongs to Linda, our HOA president, the woman who once sent me a violation notice because my mailbox was, and I quote, insufficiently regal for the community vibe. I'm Jake, by the way, just a guy trying to live quietly in this suburban slice of Maple Grove, where every lawn's manicured to perfection and Linda rules like she's the queen of a cul-de-sac kingdom. That morning, I stood there, staring at her car, wondering if I'd slipped into some alternate reality where property lines were just suggestions. I had a 9 a.m. meeting across town, and this wasn't just inconvenient, it was a deliberate middle finger. So, I marched across the street to Linda's McMansion, knocked on her door, and there she was, in a velvet tracksuit, sipping green juice, smirking like she'd already won. "Morning, Jake," she chirped, all fake sugar. "Hope you don't mind. I had landscapers coming, and your driveway was just handy." Handy? I bit back a laugh, kept my voice steady. Handy's one way to put it, Linda. Illegal's another. Her eyes glinted, that kind of smug that makes your fists itch. "Oh, don't be so dramatic. You've got a street to park on." And with that, she shut the door in my face. That was the moment I knew this wasn't about landscapers or convenience. This was Linda flexing her power, testing how far she could push me, like she'd done to half the neighborhood with her endless fines and nitpicky rules. I wasn't just annoyed. I was cornered, and something in me snapped not into rage, but into this cold, clear focus. She wanted a game? Fine, I'd play, but I wasn't going to bend. First, I called a tow company. The guy on the line chuckled. "Maple Grove? HOA turf? Sorry, buddy, we don't touch those without a signed affidavit from God himself." Click. Next, the cops. Dispatcher was nice enough, but firm. "Civil matters, sir. Take it up with your HOA." Which, of course, meant Linda. Checkmate, round one. So, I stood there, coffee now cold, staring at that Mercedes gleaming like a smug monument to my frustration. And then it hit me a memory from a couple weeks back. My buddy Tom, who runs a construction crew, had let me borrow a forklift to help move some patio stones. That beast was still sitting behind my garage, waiting for him to pick it up. I walked around Linda's car, eyeing it like a puzzle, my heart starting to race with this ridiculous, perfect idea. Could I? Should I? Oh, hell yeah, I would. By noon, Linda was out front, laughing with her crony, Mrs. Peterson, probably gloating about her little power move. That's when I fired up the forklift, the engine growling like a bear waking up hungry. I maneuvered it into position, slid the forks under her Mercedes, and lifted just enough to clear the ground. The look on her face when she saw her precious car dangling like a toy. Priceless. "Jake, what the hell are you doing?" she shrieked, her voice cracking like thin ice. I leaned out, cool as ice. "Moving your car, Linda, like you said I could. When I'm ready." Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. But before she could spit out another word, I nudged the joystick, and that Mercedes rolled forward straight toward her backyard, where her pristine infinity pool sparkled like a turquoise jewel. I didn't plan it, not exactly, but in that moment, it felt like fate. The car tipped, slow and surreal, and hit the water with a splash that sent waves crashing over her designer patio. Bubbles gurgled around the headlights, and for one glorious second, the world was silent except for Linda's scream, a sound I'll carry to my grave. Neighbors poured out, phones up, filming what was already going viral. Linda stood there, drenched from the splash, her tracksuit clinging like a soggy costume of defeat. "You're done, Jake," she bellowed, mascara running like war paint. "I'm calling the cops, my lawyer, everyone." I just crossed my arms, let her rage. "Make sure you tell him where you parked first." The crowd snickered, and I knew then this wasn't just my fight anymore. Linda had been lording over Maple Grove for years, fining people for crooked shutters or unapproved flower beds. This was the spark the neighborhood needed. The cops showed up, lights flashing, but they weren't hauling me off. "Ma'am," the taller officer said, scribbling in his notepad. "Did you park your car on his property?" Linda sputtered. "That's irrelevant. He destroyed my Mercedes." I shrugged, calm as ever. "I called you guys this morning, officer." Dispatcher said it was a civil matter. So I handled it. Civilly. The shorter cop hid a grin, and they left, telling us to sort it out in court. Linda wasn't done, though. That night, an HOA email blasted out, calling an emergency meeting to address my reckless behavior. Game on. The meeting was a circus standing room only, neighbors whispering like they were at a gladiator match. Linda, in a dramatic scarf and sunglasses indoors, painted me as a neighborhood terrorist, ranting about forklifts and chaos. I stood up, kept it simple. I asked for help. Linda blocked my driveway, refused to move, and your system told me to deal with it. So I did. If she didn't want her car relocated, she shouldn't have parked it like she owned my house. A gray-haired board member, Ed, coughed awkwardly. Well, technically, HOA rules say no blocking driveways. Linda's in violation here. The room buzzed, and Linda's face went redder than her car. She slammed her binder shut. You'll pay for this, Jake. I just smiled. Bring it. Her retaliation came fast, violation notices taped to my door daily. My fence was too rustic. My dog's bark was disruptive. One even claimed my porch light was excessively luminous. I laughed, snapped photos, and sent them to my lawyer, Sarah, who was already licking her chops. She's building our case for us, Sarah said, grinning. But then came the real bomb. A certified letter from Linda's attorney, demanding $120,000 for her destroyed Mercedes. I poured a whiskey, laughed again, and called Sarah. She forgot to mention she trespassed first, right? Sarah chuckled. Oh, Jake, we're not just defending. We're countersuing for harassment, trespassing, and abuse of power. She's gonna regret this. Then the neighborhood gossip mill churned out something bigger. Ed and the HOA treasurer, Marjorie, had been digging into the books. At the next meeting, Marjorie dropped a bombshell. Linda had been skimming HOA funds, thousands spent on spa days, fancy dinners, even a consulting firm that was just a shell account in her name. The room exploded, neighbors gasping, shouting. Linda leaped up, screaming, lies. This is a witch hunt. But the spreadsheets didn't lie, and neither did the bank records. Ed stood, voice steady. Linda, this isn't leadership. This is theft. The board suspended her on the spot, and the crowd cheered like we'd just toppled a dictator. Court day arrived, and Linda strutted in like she still owned the place, pearls and all. Her lawyer spun a tale of me as a reckless vigilante, waving photos of her drowned Mercedes. Sarah, cool as ever, laid out our case. Photos of the blocked driveway, my police call, Linda's own words admitting she'd move it when she was ready, and the kicker security footage of her sneaking into my yard at midnight, pouring weed killer on my roses. The courtroom gasped. Sarah didn't stop. She piled on the HOA financials, the fake consulting firm, the spa receipts. This isn't about a car, Your Honor. This is about a woman who bullied her neighbor, stole from her community, and thought she could weaponize this court to keep control. The judge's pen never stopped moving. Linda, for once, had no words. The ruling? Her lawsuit tossed, my countersuit upheld, damages awarded, and her financial crimes sent to the county prosecutor. The gallery erupted, and Linda crumpled like a popped balloon. 2 weeks later, moving trucks rolled up to Linda's house. She was selling, desperate to escape the investigations closing in. Neighbors watched, some smirking, others just relieved. I stood on my porch, coffee in hand, as she climbed into a beat-up rental Carno Mercedes in sight. Our eyes met one last time. She froze, like she wanted to curse me out, but she just got in and drove off. Maple Grove exhaled. People painted their houses bright colors Linda would have fined. Kids sold lemonade without permits. Ed, the new HOA president, scrapped half her rules, and the neighborhood felt alive again. I got my damages check, replanted my garden, and threw a barbecue for everyone who'd survived Linda's reign. We laughed late into the night, toasting to freedom, to community, to the guy who'd had enough and flipped the board. Looking back, I don't know if I was right to dump her car in that pool. Maybe I went too far, maybe I didn't. But when someone tries to cage you in your own home, you push back, hard. And sometimes, that push burns their whole empire down. So what do you think? Was I the hero here, or just a guy who snapped? Drop a comment. Tell me your stories of petty tyrants or epic payback. Hit that like button if you laughed, share if you felt that splash, and subscribe because trust me, you never know when you'll need a forklift in your corner.